Hey guys, welcome to Hope, Heal, and Shine. So again, it's late in the week and I am just getting this posted, but I had a few quick thoughts I wanted to share about this week's lesson, which was Alma 43 through 52. Okay, so in this week's lesson, we talk about a few things, but mostly Captain Moroni. So if you haven't read this part of the scriptures, you're going to love Captain Moroni. He's amazing. Yea, verily, verily, I say unto you, if all men had been and were and ever would be like unto Moroni, behold, the very powers of hell would have shaken forever. Yea, the devil would never have power over the hearts of the children of men. Alma 48:17. Couple quick parts that I wanted to talk about. There's a heading in the lesson manual for this week, and it says that the battles in the Book of Mormon teach me about my battle against evil. And it just talks about how you can compare, basically taking what's happening in these stories, and you might think, well, I've never been at war, so this just has nothing to do with me. But finding a way it can relate to your life and taking from it what you can, trying to learn from it in just some way. So again, I'm going to take some of my thoughts from what I learned from the Don't Miss This video. So if you haven't watched that, definitely go and check out their video because, again, they're amazing. So my thoughts with this is that, I've posted most recently about, human trafficking and things. So there is genuine evil and darkness in the world. But I feel like a lot of times it doesn't feel that bad, the things that we are tempted by. It doesn't feel evil. It may be just maybe unkind or judgmental. I feel like it's just more subtle. Like evil or bad or darkness or anything, it seems to be more subtle day to day. And so that's kind of more what I want to talk about. The evil that is so clearly black and white, like, yes, this is wrong, and something that it's worth fighting for. It needs to be talked about, absolutely, and I stand up for those things. Today I'm going to talk about the more subtle things, and honestly I feel like this is such a big thing right now. Everything that's going on in our world, there's a pandemic, there are riots, there's so much, there's earthquakes and fires, and there's so much going on, and it is just a crazy time to be alive. And I think that, more than anything, people, their anxiety is just through the roof. People are stressed, people are depressed, and we are just not treating each other with much kindness. I feel like I had to block myself from getting on social media this week because I just couldn't take any more of it. After a while, it just was too much for me. It was too much because I finally got to the point where I was starting to get, not really in fights, but in disagreements with people over things I felt so strongly about, and it wasn't worth it. It wasn't worth it in the end, because it just made me feel so angry and so upset, and it's just not worth it to me. So I just think of this. It's just like this subtle little thing where the thing that was bringing darkness into my life wasn't this massive evil thing. It was something that distracted me from being present with my family. It was something that took my focus away from God, took my focus away from something positive, and turned me into being more or less on opposing sides as somebody else, which just brought contention into my life. And just by the end of the day, I was more angry than when I started. It led nowhere. I felt good that I stood up for what I believed, but at the same time, it didn't accomplish anything. So it felt pointless, and I just had to draw this boundary with myself. Okay, I know that falling into screens and escaping reality is so much easier sometimes for me, especially now. I know that is a weakness I have, and so that's something I have to constantly be mindful of. and put armor and defenses against. And I have an app on my phone that I literally can just block apps when I am like, nope. I've talked about this in other videos. Social media distancing. So necessary. So necessary. I feel like too, as I was reading this, there's 2 stories. And they talk about this again in Don't Miss This much better. But we have a look at Amalickiah. Basically, his only purpose in life is to bring others down. And he does that to eventually build himself up. But that's his purpose in life, is to bring others down. And then we have Captain Moroni. And everywhere he goes, he's raising a standard, right? And they talked about that, like, literally, like, he's going and he's raising this flag with their beliefs on it. But if they talked about, like, change the perspective on that. And what if we could go somewhere and everywhere we went, we could raise the standard? If everywhere we went, we made people feel loved, and we made people feel their best, and we built people up. We raised the standard of conversation. We raised the standard of what was expected and what was focused on. And we just brought light and positivity and love and goodness into a room when we entered, as opposed to Amalickiah, who's literally his only goal is to bring people down. I feel like I grew up in a family with all brothers. And one of the ways, at least my brothers, express their love is by teasing. And I think I kind of grew to just think that's just how everybody was, and you just made fun of people, even if they were your friends, even to the point of tears, and that's just normal. And the more I've lived on my own or been married, I've realized that that's not who I want to be. That as much as I can accept that is how other people show their love, and I can appreciate that from them, that doesn't mean that's how I want to be. And I've been working the last few years to avoid making jokes that are at other people's expense. Because in the end, like, everyone in the room is laughing but them. And how does it feel to be that one person? It doesn't feel good. It certainly doesn't help people have good feelings towards you. Like, I feel like I want to be the kind of person where people like who they are when they're around me, because I help them see, like, goodness in themselves, you know? I feel like I have always really appreciated being around people like that, and that's who I aspire to be. So that's my biggest takeaway from this week is, what evil are you fighting? For me, it's just refocusing, you know, pivoting and turning around. Again, that's as simple as repentance is. Shifting your focus. Am I so focused on getting into arguments on Facebook with people that I forget to listen and to love and to remind myself that even if people disagree with me, it's okay. And it's not the end of the world. I know everything, literally everything, feels like the end of the world right now, because literally so many things are legitimately life and death. But at the same time, I think being unkind to people, shaming people into trying to agree with us, literally works 0% of the time. Yeah. I mean, that's just a statistic I'm pulling out of nowhere, but really I'm just pulling it from my own life experiences. Shaming people into changing, it doesn't work. It never works. Love is how we are going to change the world. Love is how we're going to get out of this. And if someone chooses to do that in a way that's different than what you feel it should be, pray to understand and pray to love that person even more. Because I tell you, telling them that they're a monster, telling them how selfish and greedy and what a terrible person they are, you're not going to change their minds. You're just going to push them away. That's it. That's all that's going to happen. And the more we divide ourselves as a people, the harder this is going to be. We need each other. We need our friends and our family. Even strangers on Facebook, we can all come together. We can be there for one another. We can disagree, surely. That is actually a good thing, because you can have strengths from different perspectives. But at the end of the day, agree to disagree and walk away with mutual love and respect for that person. If that's not possible, it's not worth engaging in the conversation. It's really not. So that's my thoughts from this week. Just, go and be a Moroni. Go and raise people up wherever you go. Go and raise the standard of conversation. Raise the standard of Facebook posts, right? Be the light the world needs right now. Okay, this chunk of scriptures is really, really applicable to our day. Anyway, that's my challenge, and that's something I'm working on too. So I'll let you know how it goes, as this goes on. But thank you guys again so much for watching. This one is short and sweet, but we'll see you again in a few days. Okay, love ya. Bye.